Rise of Kingdoms just stealth dropped one of the coolest graphical upgrades that they've done to the game yet, and that is brand new 3D troop models and marching animations. Guys, this looks absolutely fantastic, and this is long overdue. I have been waiting for them to finally implement new marching animations for these commanders. This is my Bai Chi with Liu Che. You can see Liu Che is on his horse right there off on the right here, and you can actually see all of the units in the army walking around at a normal pace, and it just looks absolutely incredible. You can still see the formation here. We have our King Arthur with our Philip, and the game just looks gorgeous. It keeps looking better and better and better. So today let's do a quick deep dive into what exactly has changed and what this means for you and your gameplay experience. But first, what's going on, guys? So I woke up this morning and saw this system mail, and it looks like they sent it at midnight, so obviously your boy was sleeping. Okay, I'm a boomer, I gotta get my shut eye. All right, it says, greetings governor, exciting news, we've upgraded troop and city characters with beautiful new 3D models. These changes have already been implemented. Once you update the game from the App Store / Play Store, you'll be able to toggle between classic units and 3D units at any time via the settings page. For optimal performance, the game will automatically use classic units during large-scale battles. Thank you for supporting Rise of Kingdoms. We hope you enjoy the game. So pretty much just, hey, here it is, boys. Update your game in the App Store and you are good to go. I honestly was not expecting this at all. Now, I mean, I know that they've been working on this, right? Ever since the developers released the graphical update for Rise of Kingdoms. I mean, obviously anyone who's quit the game and come back to the game knows that the world just looks 50 times better. Like, it is just such a massive improvement with how amazing the world actually looks in Rise of Kingdoms. Like, it looks like a modern mobile game now. Like, it actually looks like something that was released in 2025, right? Like, it actually looks great. And they mentioned during the remaster release that they were focusing on, you know, the next step would be to make everything else look just as good as the map does, right? Because obviously the game is not just the map, there's a lot more to it than that. And so obviously they already announced they were working on this, but we haven't heard anything about this in like a year, maybe, at least, if not longer. Like, it's been quite a while since we've heard anything about like the remastered graphics and what the next steps are for that. And so I'm just kind of shocked that they just stealth dropped this, and it looks absolutely incredible. Like, I can actually zoom in and I can tell immediately what these commanders are. Even if they weren't my own armies, I would be able to tell. Like, you can see that is clearly Herman Prime. He's shaking his head, he's listening to some music on the battlefield, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is clearly King Arthur on the top of his horse. Like, maybe Liu Che's a little bit hard to tell, but like Bai Chi, dude, Bai Chi, look at the pecs on this dude, bro. Look at the delts. He is absolutely giga chatted. He's swole on the battlefield, bro. Like, he's actually, that's so incredible. Let's take a quick look at some of the other models, because they've also updated the Barbarians. So here you can see that this dude is literally riding, what is that, a bull? My boy is riding a bull, the level 42 bull rider. Okay, actually insane. And just the small detail of the idle animations, like of the units, just kind of like they're like breathing or just kind of standing there idle, it looks alive. Like, it actually looks like the game is actually, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but like the game is animated, the game is breathing, the game is like, it just looks much more advanced, much more clear, much more realistic, I guess. I mean, like, it's just genuinely impressive. And also, if you look at somebody like Herman Prime, for example, one of the details you'll notice is that his shirt and his shield are blue. And of course, if we come into the commander view, that is not the case. He has a red shield, he has, you know, his chainmail with a little green scarf thing here, and he's got his like wolf pelt, right? So they kind of have painted these models to look like friendly units, right? Like, they look friendly. Same thing with Bai Chi. Like, he's got the blue shirt on, and obviously that is not traditionally what he's wearing in the commander view, but you can still tell that it's Bai Chi while also still being able to tell that it is a friendly unit, your unit, etc. Also, you can see that these are tier tier 5 units because of all the gold. And I think the cavalry units specifically with the spears that they have, or I don't know what it's called when you're jousting, those weapons, but they're just these golden pikes that are just marching across the battlefield in unison. It just looks so incredible. I think it looks so good. It looks so good. Let's throw out a couple of more armies here. Let's see what our boy CPO looks like with our boy Ragnar. Same sort of thing that we see with our other units here. You can see Ragnar, and again, like the actual like footstep animation, like Ragnar is walking through the battlefield and each step actually looks like it would be moving him the correct duration. Like I feel like that's a small detail that a lot of people might not even realize, but like the fact that it actually kind of looks natural, it kind of looks like, you know, there's some weight behind the footsteps, you know, as he's walking with all of his armor on. Like they did such a good job with this. It's incredible. Now look, when you turn the units, if you suddenly change direction, it looks a little weird, right? Because like the units, they kind of like do like a circle in place and they kind of like shift to the back, so it's not perfect, but compared to what we had before, this is light years ahead of what we had before, and it just looks really, really good. Let's take a look at what Huo Joan looks like on the battlefield here, and we can see once again we have the units, the cavalry units have those spears, or I'm sorry if I'm getting the name of the weapon wrong, but you know exactly what I'm talking about here. It looks like they're holding them slightly differently than in the Delta formation. Is that right? No, I guess they're holding them at the same sort of angle, but yeah, all in all, look Joan, you can tell that's Joan. She has the golden like headpiece on the top here, and it just, man, this just looks so freaking good, dude. All right, let's bring back one of our marches here. Let's actually send out some siege. Obviously siege are another troop type that we haven't looked at so far, so let's go ahead and throw out Gaja Mata, and we'll throw out Cordoba. And also I only have a small amount of tier 5 siege, most of it is tier 1, and here we go. This is what tier 1 siege looks like. They actually recently changed what this looks like in game, but here you could see that Cordoba, you could tell his horse is covered in plate armor, and there we have Gaja Mata right next to him. I think it looks so good, man. I think it looks so good. Let's actually, I kind of like Cordoba's horse. Why does this horse look so good? He looks like a horse that you would get like if you're a member of the Alliance in World of Warcraft. Honestly, it looks freaking fantastic. Let's actually send out Cordoba and Gaja Mata one more time, but I do want to see what it looks like with just tier 5 units, because obviously the models are a little bit different here. So let's just send out the trebuchets, and obviously I don't have many of them, so it doesn't look as densely populated as the rest, but it would make sense that we wouldn't see as many units on the field. Yeah, they look like little tanks. They look freaking awesome. I think one of the challenges with the trebuchets is that they are, you know, the same size as the people, right? Like that kind of throws it off a little bit, because they are supposed to be these massive siege weapons, and they're literally the same height as a human being, so that's a little bit off-putting. But like all in all, the model itself looks great, and there's really no, like, what else can you do, right? Like it is what it is. That's just what it's going to look like. I almost wonder if it would be cooler if they just had one big trebuchet unit that's clearly bigger, but it takes up the same amount of space. That might be a cool a workaround there. But like all in all, I think that looks freaking incredible, dude. Another thing I just noticed is that the horse models are actually different for every horse here. Like look at Joan of Arc Prime. Her horse is covered in silver and gold, and it looks incredible. And then you have the horse of Huo, which looks completely different, and the horse for Huo looks different than the horse for Liu Che, which, I mean, they didn't have to do that, right? Like the front armor is different on those as well. Same thing if you look at this is King Arthur's horse, looks freaking incredible, looks different from Philip's, and even the horse for Zhuge Liang looks similar to the horse for Liu Che, but you can see it has these like golden little like tassels around the sides. So like they even went as far as changing the horse models here, which is actually, the attention to detail is wild. They didn't have to do that. They could have just thrown everybody on the same horse and it would have been like, oh yeah, it is what it is. But no, they went as far as making each and every model completely unique down to the horse's armor, bro. Okay, now let's come into these settings here and see what it looks like if we flip back to the original. So this just says unit visuals. You can click on original and you're done. Boom, that's it. You're back to the original. Now I will say these actually look better than I feel like they did before, and you guys can let me know in the comment section below if that's actually the case. But it looks like the resolution for the units is higher, like there's more pixels there, which I think looks incredible, obviously, right? Like it looks super good. It looks more crisp, more clean. The lines are more like like more defined in straight lines as opposed to like jagged and blocky and pixelated, right? So I actually think they updated these as well, to be honest with you guys. They look incredible, but they obviously don't look, they're not as animated, right? When they're standing there, they're kind of standing there. Yeah, they're moving a little bit, but really they're just kind of standing there, you know what I mean? The commanders have a little bit of an idle animation, but besides that, like they're just standing there. So it is what it is. I will say I can understand the appeal to this style of graphic, right? Like this is very reminiscent of early 2000s games in this genre, like, you know, Civ or like Age of Empires or something along those lines, other RTS games, right? So I can understand the appeal to this style of graphic, but I personally think these new 3D models just look incredible, right? So if you don't like them, you could just come in here, shut them off, easy peasy. It's just a click of a button. And like I said before, the mail specifically says that for optimal performance, the game will automatically use the classic units during large scale battles. Now, it's also worth noting that I am the Ottoman Empire civilization, which is why my archers look like this, right? These are the elite janissaries, and if you have another special unit, like you switch to Germany or you switch to Vikings or something, you're gonna have different special units on the battlefield. And again, the attention to detail there is incredible. Let's go ahead and grab these, and we're gonna go ahead and do a quick little barbarian kill here, right? So let's go ahead and move these units around. Let's just surround this dude, you know what I'm saying? He's not about to have a good day. All right, I've seen this on other websites, you know what I mean? We're about to it's gonna be 5 dudes versus this one. Okay, anyway, let's see how this looks in battle. Let's see if it changes anything. And so all of our units, all the units are moving. The cavalry are stabbing with their little pokey boys, and then there goes the active skills and just absolutely obliterates that target. Very nice stuff here. Let's bring these back. I want to take a look at some other models for some other commanders, in particular some of the older commanders as well. So let's take a look at, we'll do Nevsky, we'll throw William there, just curious to see how they look. Obviously not a pair that you're ever going to actually use in the battlefield, but William Wallace with his massive golden axe looks incredible, to be honest with you. I really like how that looks. Again, the horse model for Nevsky is different than any other horse model as well, which looks really nice. Here we have this is Richard YSG. Richard's golden shield looks really good as well, and you can even see the lion face on his shoulder pads as well, which looks, I mean, it looks gorgeous, right? It looks absolutely fantastic. I think that he looks a little bit skinny, honestly, and I would have much rather seen Richard on foot, right, rather than on horse. Seeing him on foot would have looked really cool, and standing there just like Baichi, just standing there imposing, Giga Chad, tanky, you know what I mean? That's what I think of when I think of infantry. Crown looks really nice. These two horse models, I guess the horse models for the older commanders maybe are a little bit more similar, right? Obviously it's the colors are slightly different, but all in all those are pretty much the same horse model. So okay, it looks like the horse models are mainly different for the newer commanders rather than the old ones. Here we have Guan Yu with Alexander the Great, and you can see Alexander the Great back there also on a horse, Guan Yu on a horse, and look at the weapon on Guan Yu, man. That thing is absolutely devastating looking, and I really like it. Again, I wish Alex was on foot like Baichi. I feel like he would be more imposing and more Giga Chad if you were on foot, looking absolutely brolic, but it is what it is. We got the capes flowing in the wind here as they're walking, which looks really nice. The blade on Alex looks sick. The sword looks really cool as well. Here we have Cao Cao with Julius Caesar. Julius Caesar looking a little skinny these days, to be honest with you, but Cao Cao, both of them on horseback, Caesar having his own horse as well, I think looks really good. And yeah, you could see his sword outlined in gold just like it is on the commander view page. I think both these commanders look really nice. These are like some of the most iconic legendaries in the game right here, right? Like Cao Cao is basically the mascot of Rise of Kingdoms. He's literally on the app icon when you tap on the app to play the game. So yeah, really nice stuff. You have the design on the back of his cape, which looks like it kind of reflects light slightly, like it looks a little bit darker in some footstep animations. So really cool stuff there. And then finally, a pairing that a lot of you guys can't even test in your own game, we have Lu Bu and Dao Chan. So this is a crazy combination because, like I said, new players can't even get these commanders in their game, right? So the fact that they came in and made 3D models for completely obsolete characters that no one can get their hands on anymore, and they look really good, right? Obviously they're both on horseback. We have a unique horse model for Dao Chan. She's walking through the flowers right now, very pretty, very cutesy. Okay, and we have Lu Bu with his massive like headdress or helmet or whatever you want to call it. The feathers coming off of that thing are truly insane. He's covered in gold, all gold everything, like Trinidad James, you know what I'm saying? He looks like a fierce warrior. It is what it is. He looks crazy cool. Here we have Mehmed with the Black Prince, none other than Banana Helmet Edward, right? So obviously Edward in all black and gold over here, which looks really cool. You can't even see his face, but you could see the banana helmet. Honestly, the helmet looks a little bit smaller on the field than it does on the commander view page. It's a little bit ridiculous in the commander view page, but yeah, I mean, he looks really cool. The fact that he is nicknamed the Black Prince and his black armor makes his face, it kind of like shadows his face, which looks really nice. He looks pretty cool on the battlefield. Mehmed is a little bit basic in terms of his design, but you see that massive gold sword right there on Mehmed. It looks really nice as well. So love that. And then here we have Attila Takeda. I was expecting Attila to look a little bit more formidable, to be honest with you, because he is so devastating when he's coming at your city. Takeda looks really nice with his like silver hair coming off the back here. I know it's part of his helmet, right? It's not actually his hair, but yeah, I mean, these guys should have been like, I don't know, they're just so iconic when it comes to burning player cities that I kind of wanted them to look a little bit more formidable. But I mean, they obviously are based on their 2D sprite work as well. So yeah, it looks really nice stuff here. You'll love to see it. Now let's take a look at some more barbarian battles here, and you can see it actually looks like Lohar is leading the barbarians. Is that what Lohar looks like on his model? Let's take a look over here. We'll see Lohar when he separates from the pack. He looks pretty similar, actually. Yeah, that actually looks like it's Lohar. So I know the text is in the way, but that's what Lohar looks like in our army. And that's this dude right here. I'm pretty sure that's just straight up Lohar right there. So he's a traitor, basically. We're gonna have to kill him. Let's see how that looks with the new troop type, or the new unit models. Let's see what swarming him down looks like. And again, we see all of the units just piling on top of one another, stabbing with their weapons, with the tier 4 infantry with their swords, their blades, just stabbing them. Looks really nice. Go and kill this dude over here, marching through the fields. We're actually marching now. I feel like we're actually marching through the battlefield. That's what this feels like to me in lore. It is officially canon. We are now actually marching as opposed to just moving pixels across the field, which looks really cool. There's the arrows coming out of I think that was Freddy, which is interesting, but either way, yeah, they're fully animated for battle. I mean, guys, this looks really nice. Now, the last thing that I want to touch on here is the practicality of this change, and by that I mean they put in all this work, right? They put in all this work, and most people are just going to be looking at this. That's the part that's the worst to me. That's the part that blows my mind, is that most high-end players who play Rise of Kingdoms aren't even gonna know. They're not even gonna know that the graphics have changed, because they're just gonna be looking at little diamonds, little dots, or the troop type icons if you guys play with that in dot mode or strategic view. This is still what most people are gonna look at, and it is what it is. Like, I'm about to share a very unpopular opinion here, and I don't even know if I fully agree with this, but I do at least want to say it. Part of me wishes that you couldn't fight in dot mode. I'm just gonna say it. I wish that maybe what if right clicking just didn't work? Like, what if you zoomed out this far, you just can't move your troops, right? Like, what if, or you can't target things, because obviously they can't remove dot mode. Like, you have to be able to zoom out, right? And so like at some point the troop details are going to turn into dots, of course, right? But like the fact that we can fight in dot mode makes it so that way the strategic advantage of dot mode is just too great to not use it, right? It is too powerful to use dot mode. You have to play in dot mode if you want to play effectively, right? And man, to have such an absolutely gorgeous game, and to have them continuously make it look better and better and better, and then to just have the high-end players play like this, you're not even really playing a game at this point. You're just clicking dots, and it makes war footage horrible, right? It's boring. Like, if I do a live stream of a pass opening and someone who's never played Rise of Kingdoms before tunes into my live stream and they see this, they're gonna be like, what even is this? How is this even a game? Like, it's not even a game. It's just moving a dot across the screen and I'm clicking other dots, right? But at the end of the day, you have to do it from a strategic perspective. You must play in dot mode. You must play in strategic view. And so like, part of me wishes that, like, you know, if they just got rid of the ability to attack in dot mode, then everyone is disadvantaged in the same way, right? like, yeah, it sucks that you lose dot mode, you lose that advantage, but everyone lost that advantage, and so you're on a level playing field. Everyone now has to learn how to play with the graphics that the game is meant to be played in, right? Like, you are supposed to see your units in the battlefield. Like, when the developers made the game, they probably did not intend for people to play exclusively in dot mode for high-end play, right? It's purely just like a consequence of being able to zoom out. That's why dot mode exists, right? Now they've tried to make it better with strategic view to give you more information, which is fine, but again, like, man, they put in all this effort for the models. They should probably force us to actually use them, right? Maybe it's time. Maybe we finally need that come to Jesus moment. Maybe we just have to rip the band-aid off. Everyone in the community is going to be kicking and screaming, and they're going to be like, oh, my trades are so bad now. And yeah, well, everyone's trades are bad, so get used to it. I kind of want them to do that low-key, and like, look, I like using dot mode. I like the fact that you get better trades and you have more control and more precision. I get it, right? I get it. You don't have to comment down below and tell me why dot mode's good. I understand why it's good, right? I understand why you don't want it to go away. Same here, right? But at the same time, like, oh, I kind of want them to rip the band-aid off and just force us to actually use the graphics that were made to be used for gameplay, right? Like, it's crazy how good the game looks, and we're over here looking at dots. Like, I don't know, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Should they just get rid of dot mode fighting, right? I don't know. I kind of want them to do that. I kind of want to just actually be able to finally play the game with the graphics that the game is intended to be played with, instead of this, like, just looking at dots for 8 hours during a fight. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like it would be better for the game too. Like, if people just stumble upon a Rise of Kingdoms video and they see like these units in the battlefield looking animated, looking 3D, looking gorgeous, if they see that, I feel like that is much more appealing to a new player than just dots. Like, if I was a brand new player today and I've never played Rise of Kingdoms and I saw this as the gameplay, I wouldn't download it. If I'm being fully honest, if I'm being fully transparent, if I saw this as the gameplay, I would not download Rise of Kingdoms, period. It's just not a game. It's literally not a game. It's just dots, right? But if I saw this, I'd be like, oh, like, the units are like, okay, you're actually commanding armies. You are literally commanding armies. I can see it. It looks good. It's animated. It's 3D. It looks beautiful. And they actually fight each other. That's awesome, right? Let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. I'm really curious. I know it's a heated topic. I know most people aren't going to agree with that because they really like their good trades with dot mode. But again, if everyone's on the same playing field, then maybe people are going to have to now learn how to play with the actual graphics of the game. All in all, guys, I think this change is incredible. As you can tell throughout the entire video, I've just been praising it, and I think the new graphics look really good. I can't wait to see what some of the new models are going to look like for some more of the older commanders, right? I know they're going to be changing some of these older models to reflect the updated graphics of some of the other commanders that got new models as well, such as Richard, who I'm not even using his new model for. But yeah, I'm sure we're going to see even more changes to the graphics over the coming months and maybe even years. But let me know what you think about these new marching animations down below, and while you're down there, drop a thumbs up on the video. It really helps out the channel a ton. It helps get this video out into the YouTube algorithm so other Rise of Kingdoms players might see it. And subscribe while you're there and click the bell to be notified the next time I upload a Rise of Kingdoms video. And with that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching. This has been Omniarch. I will talk to you guys again soon. Peace.